Hi, I'm Josh Warren with MilSim West, formerly of 2nd Battalion of the 75th Ranger Regiment. I'll be the Task Force Commander for Task Force Viking in the upcoming operation in Western Crimea. This is your warning order brief, warning order 0314. Here's our table of organization and equipment. Here you see the command group, myself, Viking 6, our First Sergeant, Master Sergeant Rob Ford, he's going to be Viking 7, and our Executive Officer, Brian Clarkson, he'll be Viking 5. We'll have 2 recce teams of no more than 6 men each, and 4 rifle platoons of 30 to 40 people each, with 3 rifle squads and 1 weapon squad as the situation dictates. Now let me introduce Brian Clarkson of MilSim West. He'll be our Executive Officer for this operation.
March or don't, sir. Alright, as Warren said, I'm Brian Clarkson, MilSim West. I'm going to be the Executive Officer for the Crimea operation. Alright, so situation and area of interest. The Crimean Peninsula is of strategic importance in this war. It's Russia's only warm water port, and it's the home of their Black Sea Fleet. Alright, so, area of interest. We have Ukraine right here. This peninsula down here is Crimea. And then right here is the border with Russia. Down here we have the Daryl Gorge. Area of operations. The town of Kachat, our objective, is a small town in Crimea on the Black Sea that is located near the large city of Sevastopol. Kachat itself is small, has a population of about 6,000, but it is also home to a military airfield, as well as a home to a regional FSB headquarters and a detachment of Naval Infantry Marines. Alright, so down here we have Sevastopol, which is the largest regional city, and up here we have Kachat, our objective. Right here is the town of Kachat, the military airfield, and a local highway. Right here we have a map of our drop zones. Terrain, observation, and field of fire. Basically, the AO is very flat, so any high ground you can get, you're going to significantly increase your field of fire. Observation ranges from about 5 meters to up to like 300 meters. Avenues of approach, there's a road net consisting of paved and unpaved roads throughout the entire area. Anywhere you need to get an AO, you can basically access via road. Key terrain, on the northern boundary of the AO, there's a concrete bunker. In the south, there's going to be the town of Kachat. Obstacles, there's a swamp in the northern part of the AO, and there's Slusher Lake in the south, bordering the town of Kachat. So here we have key terrain. Here itself is the town of Kachat. Number 1 is going to be an oil refinery, so we need to stay away due to the environmental impact. The other key thing to notice here is number 8, building 8. That's going to be the town hall. It's a 2-story building with a basement and roof access. We're going to make that the command post once we take the town. So weather. Basically, there's going to be highs of 63s and lows of 46. You're going to be fine probably wearing normal clothing during the day. At night, you'll probably want to layer up a bit. As far as sleeping, you'll probably be fine with the green USGI sleeping bag. We're going to have about just under 12 hours of daylight with sunrise about 7:18 and sunset at 6:50 every day. So, enemy forces, the Russians. We're going to be mostly facing is Russian FSB. They're the internal security forces. They're highly trained, highly equipped, and highly motivated. They're going to be, their capabilities are going to be armed with AK-74s. Each squad's going to have at least 1 medium machine gun in the form of a PKM or PKP. With up to 2 per squad, and they're going to have organic 82mm mortars. So the most probable course of action for the Russians is they're likely to follow a very open set of rules of engagement. They're going to conduct direct action attacks on NATO troops and leverage their indirect assets. Most deadly course of action is alignment with the Cossacks. So, the Cossacks. Not a lot is known about the Cossacks. They're an irregular or militia force. What we do know is that they've been very active in eastern Ukraine and the Donetsk, Sloviansk, and Lugansk regions. From recent headlines, we know they have very significant anti-air capabilities. What we do know also is that they're down in Crimea rescuing and refitting, so they're going to be well-trained, well-equipped, and very well-experienced. Most probable course of action is they're going to be a shipball militia and then establish checkpoints throughout the town of Kachat and extort the locals to pay. So, most deadly course of action is they're going to mass with regular Russian forces and conduct well-coordinated attacks on NATO ground troops.
So I'm Josh, back here to brief you the mission paragraph. Mission: Task Force Viking conducts airborne assault of Kachat no later than midnight 4th of October 2014 in order to secure a base for sustainment and follow-on offensive operations in the Western Crimean region. I say again, Task Force Viking conducts airborne assault no later than midnight, October 4th, 2014, in order to secure base for sustainment and future offensive operations in the Western Crimean region. Execution, concept of the operation. Scheme of maneuver. This is going to be a 4-phase operation. The first phase is going to be in processing and jump prep. Second phase will be the airborne assault on the town of Kacha. Third phase will be consolidation and defense of the airhead around Kacha. And fourth phase will be follow-on offensive operations in the vicinity of the airhead. Commander's intent. My intent is that the town of Kacha is cleared of enemy forces and secured no later than 0300 Saturday, October 4th, 2014. And that Task Force Viking is consolidated in a defense and prepared to conduct follow-on operations. Execution. Now, this is important for your planning, so please pay attention. Here's our timeline. 1400 to 1845 is our check-in. 1400 to 1845 is check-in. Please do not be late for check-in. It inconveniences our staff and your fellow participants. If you are not on time for check-in, we will still allow you to participate in the operation, but you will be inserted at the convenience of the MilSim West staff. Just so we're clear, if you arrive after 1845, you will not be able to check in with the rest of the players. You will have to wait until a staff member is available to do chrono, safety brief, iPro check, equipment check, and you will have to receive 1 spanking for every minute you're late from the first sergeant. That could be a lot of spankings. 1900 is going to be our safety and outboard brief. 1900 will have the safety and outboard brief. Everyone's going to need to be at that. Everyone needs to know what our mission is going to be and what their part in it is. And at 2000 we'll begin deployment. Now that doesn't necessarily mean you're boots on the ground slinging BBs, but it does mean that you're at least boots on the flight line waiting with your chalk for your aircraft to pick you up and take you to your drop zone. Now for your planning and travel purposes, Sunday the 5th of October 2014, we anticipate to be relieved by NATO ground forces no later than noon, so you can tell your families. Sustainment. The main thing that you need to know here is that your water resupply, your ammunition, and your in-game medical supplies, as well as some minor medical supplies for boo-boos and dehydration, headaches, sunburns, things like that, will be provided by MilSim West. Everything else you see here is your responsibility to supply. Make sure that you have at least 3 liters of water when you show up. We will resupply you after that, but when you show up you need to have at least 3 liters of water. Make sure that you bring enough food for 40 hours of operations. Bring a lot of snacks. You may not have but 1 meal a day that you're able to actually sit down and take 20 or 30 minutes to heat some food and then eat it. So keep that in mind when you're packing. Okay? Your ammunition, you're going to get your initial supply of ammunition on in-processing, and after that you're going to get it through the chain of supply, and that's going to work from you to your squad leader, to the platoon sergeant, to the first sergeant. You shouldn't be going directly to the first sergeant, you shouldn't be going directly to your platoon sergeant unless you're a squad leader. Okay, just so everyone is clear on that. Alright, now, we're going to provide you with your in-game medical supplies. We're also, our platoon medics are going to have some things for minor, like dehydration, cold weather injuries, you know, if you have blisters, if you have chapped lips, they're going to be able to help you with that sort of thing, little paper cuts. But if you do have a real-world injury, our 2 EMTs on staff do have everything that we'll need to either deal with it in the field or evacuate you to the next echelon of care. So our health system support. All platoons will manage healthcare internally, so buddy care is going to be the first method. That's going to be our preferred method. You're going to put that bandage on your buddy. Second method is going to be that platoon medic. After that, he's going to decide whether or not you're going up the chain to the company's casualty collection point or not. The platoon medics are going to make sure that they have enough medical supplies for at least a third of the platoon at all times. In the event we get into decisive engagement, where the bulk of the company is engaging the enemy at a decisive point, the first sergeant is going to place a company casualty collection point near that area where platoon medics can funnel casualties with less casualty producing weapons back while they use their medical supplies on more critical weapon assets.
Alright, command and signal, location of commander. The commander will be located at the decisive point of the operation. Succession of command will be CO, XO, first sergeant, first platoon leader, second platoon leader, third platoon leader, fourth platoon leader. Reports. Salute reports are required when enemy personnel and activities are spotted. A troops in contact, or TIC, notification is required immediately upon contact, and updates will be sent as the situation dictates. So, I'll let you guys review the SOI table. Note that this might be subject to change. Depending on how squared away our PLs are and radios, I might try and bring us off the GMRS band so Russians and Cossacks can't monitor our comms easily. Platoon leaders and platoon sergeants will need at least 2 radios or a radio capable of monitoring 2 channels. You must be able to communicate up to your leader and down to your subordinates. This is vital for cohesive mission success.
We hope this was informative for you guys and at least made the Warno process a little bit more engaging. Keep looking for more stuff like this from us. We'll probably give you some updates on the enemy situation we may be facing, the terrain we're going into, and things we're going to want you to prepare for before the operation. And while you're making your preparations, Vikings, remember our motto: march or don't.